In the tranquil village of Smiljan, nestled amidst the rugged terrain of the Austrian Empire, present-day Croatia, a child entered the world on the stormy night of July 10th, 1856. As lightning illuminated the sky and thunder echoed, the midwife, unnerved by the tempest, turned to Tesla's mother and whispered, "This child will be a son of the storm." Duke of Mandic, his mother, calmly gazed at her newborn and countered, "No, he will be a child of light." Her words proved prophetic. That boy, Nikola Tesla, would grow to illuminate the world, quite literally. From his earliest years, Nikola possessed an extraordinary intellect. His father, Milutin Tesla, an eloquent and scholarly Serbian Orthodox priest, instilled in him a love for learning. His mother, though lacking formal education, possessed a natural talent for invention, crafting tools and ingenious devices that eased the burdens of farm life. Nikola would later acknowledge, "Whatever inventive skill I possess, I inherited from my mother." Unlike the other children in his village, Nikola preferred solitude. He often retreated into his mind, visualizing intricate machines with astonishing clarity. Tragedy struck at the age of 6 when his older brother, Dane, the pride of the family, died from injuries sustained in a fall after a horse-riding accident. The loss devastated the family and left a profound mark on young Nikola. His father's attention waned, his mother grew withdrawn, and Nikola carried the heavy weight of feeling inadequate, as if he could never replace his brother. Yet, from this sorrow emerged an extraordinary ability. He began to perceive the world through a unique lens. He could conjure complex mechanical devices in his imagination, operate them flawlessly, and disassemble them piece by piece, all within the confines of his mind, with impeccable precision. This remarkable faculty would later define his singular approach to engineering. He required no drawings or prototypes, relying solely on the power of his mental visualization. Upon entering school, Tesla astonished his teachers with a prodigious memory. He could recite entire books verbatim. Mathematics came effortlessly to him, solving integral calculus problems in his head, leading his teachers to suspect him of cheating. But it was simply his way of thinking, visual, vibrant, and complete. Despite his brilliance, Nikola suffered from delicate health and insomnia. He described experiencing strange visions and flashes of light that would appear before his eyes. Today, scientists might diagnose it as eidetic imagery or hyperphantasia, but for Tesla, it was both a gift and a burden. After completing his primary education, he enrolled at the Higher Real Gymnasium in Karlovac, where he first encountered the wonders of electricity. His physics professor demonstrated how static electricity could create sparks that leap between metal spheres. The young Tesla was captivated. He later recalled, "I yearned to know more of this mysterious force. I felt as if I had touched a divine spark." After graduating in 1873, Tesla returned home, only to be stricken with a severe case of cholera. For 9 long months, he hovered between life and death. In desperation, his father made a solemn promise. "If you recover, I will allow you to study engineering." This became a pivotal moment in his life. The instant Tesla's health improved, his destiny was sealed. In 1875, Tesla enrolled at the Austrian Polytechnic Institute in Graz, resolute in fulfilling his promise. There, he impressed his professors with his profound understanding of electrical principles. He devoted himself tirelessly to his studies, often working from 3 a.m. until 11 p.m., absorbing all he could about electricity, magnetism, and mechanics. It was during this time that Tesla encountered a machine that would forever alter the course of his life. The Graham dynamo, a generator that could also function as a motor. While examining it, Tesla realized the design was fundamentally inefficient. Sparks, friction, and were wasted precious energy. A revolutionary idea took root in his mind. What if a motor could operate without physical contact, powered by alternating currents? The concept was radical. At that time, the entire world relied on direct current, DC electricity, championed by Thomas Edison. But Tesla's vision of alternating current, AC, would ultimately transform the modern world. However, fate soon dealt him a cruel blow. In his 3rd year, funding from home abruptly ceased when his father fell ill. Tesla was forced to abandon his studies before graduating, a source of deep shame. He never returned to claim his records. He drifted from one job to another, translating, tutoring, and simply trying to survive. But within him burned the same unwavering vision, the dream of a motor that could harness the invisible rhythm of alternating current. That dream would soon propel him on a journey far from his homeland, across continents, to the very heart of America, and into the crucible of rivalry, invention, and destiny. Continue Tesla's journey to America. The year was 1884. Nikola Tesla, now 28 years old, stood at the bustling docks of New York Harbor with a mere 4 cents in his pocket, a collection of his inventions, and a letter of recommendation addressed to Thomas Edison, the man who was single-handedly shaping the future of electricity. The letter came from Charles Batchelor, a former associate of Edison's who had worked alongside Tesla in Paris. In it, Batchelor penned these words, "My dear Edison, I know 2 great men, and you are one of them. The other is this young man." Tesla's voyage to America had been fraught with challenges. Before reaching the United States, he had worked for the Continental Edison Company in Paris, where his exceptional skills in electrical engineering quickly garnered attention. He diligently repaired dynamos, refined designs, and even developed groundbreaking new systems for lighting. Yet, despite his valuable contributions, his revolutionary ideas about alternating current were met with skepticism and ultimately dismissed by his superiors. Europe was simply not yet ready for Tesla's visionary concepts. He yearned for a land that embraced innovation, a place where he could translate his ideas into tangible reality. And so, armed with little more than hope and unwavering determination, Tesla boarded a ship to New York, crossing the vast Atlantic Ocean to embark on a new chapter in his life. Upon his arrival, America was in the throes of an electrifying revolution. Cities were rapidly being wired with Edison's direct current DC systems. Factories hummed with the energy of machinery. Streets blazed with the brilliance of electric lamps, and the promise of modernity permeated the very air. Tesla wasted no time in seeking out Edison's office. Edison, a man of boundless energy and unwavering self-assurance, was already a legendary figure, a self-made inventor who had electrified the world. Tesla, tall and composed, entered his office, bringing with him not material wealth but the invaluable treasure of his genius. Edison regarded him with a curious gaze. Tesla presented him with Batchelor's letter. After reading it, Edison offered a faint smile and remarked, "So you're the young man who can perform miracles with electricity?" Tesla nodded modestly. "I know a way," he said softly, "to make your machines more efficient." Edison was intrigued. He promptly hired Tesla to work on improving the company's generators and motors. For months, Tesla devoted himself entirely to the task, often working through the night. He redesigned entire systems, resolving inherent flaws and boosting performance to levels that no one had thought possible. Impressed by his work, Edison promised Tesla a substantial $50,000 reward if he could successfully complete a series of particularly challenging projects. Tesla delivered, completing every one of them. But when he requested the promised payment, Edison simply laughed. "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor," he quipped. The betrayal stung deeply. Tesla had left his homeland in pursuit of a dream, only to find himself penniless and humiliated. He resigned immediately. Later, he would recall, "I was disgusted, but not discouraged." For months afterward, Tesla struggled to make ends meet. He toiled as a ditch digger for a meager $2 a day, laying pipes for Edison's own electric lines. A bitter irony for the man who would one day challenge the very foundation of Edison's entire system. Yet, even as he labored under the scorching sun, he clung to a secret hope. One day, I will create the motor of my dreams. That dream flickered to life when 2 astute investors, Robert Lane and Benjamin Vail, recognized Tesla's extraordinary potential. They provided the necessary funding for him to establish his own company, the Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing Company. In 1885, Tesla finally had a workshop to call his own. He patented innovative arc lighting systems and refined electrical circuits. But just as success seemed within grasp, his investors abruptly withdrew their support, seizing control of the company and leaving him once again with nothing. Once again, Tesla found himself alone. Broke, forgotten, and teetering on the edge of despair, he wandered through the streets of New York, finding solace in feeding pigeons in the park and sketching his inventions on scraps of paper. Many would have succumbed to defeat, but Tesla's mind never ceased its relentless pursuit of innovation. In the spring of 1887, a twist of fate brought him together with Alfred S. Brown and Charles Eppek, two forward-thinking businessmen who saw value where others saw only madness. They funded Tesla's research and provided him with a small laboratory on South Fifth Avenue. There, Tesla embarked on the task of building what had resided solely in his imagination for years, the alternating current motor, the machine that could transform electrical energy into motion using a magnetic field that rotated on its own. And when the motor finally sprang to life, operating silently and smoothly, Tesla knew this was it. The world was on the cusp of transformation. Continue the war of currents, Tesla versus Edison. By 1888, Nikola Tesla was no longer the obscure immigrant who had once dug ditches on the streets of New York. His groundbreaking alternating current motor had begun to capture the attention of scientists, investors, and the press. And among those who took notice was a man whose name would become forever intertwined with Tesla's, George Westinghouse, the visionary industrialist who would play a pivotal role in bringing Tesla's revolutionary vision to fruition. Westinghouse, the founder of the Westinghouse Electric Company, recognized the brilliance behind Tesla's alternating current AC system. He saw in it not merely a technical innovation, but the very future of electricity, a system that was safer, more efficient, and capable of transmitting power over vast distances, unlike Edison's limited direct current DC. When Westinghouse met Tesla, he forged a deal that would indelibly change both their lives. He purchased Tesla's AC patents for a substantial $60,000 in cash and stock, along with promise of royalties for every horsepower generated using Tesla's technology. For the first time, Tesla enjoyed financial security and the backing of a powerful ally. But their burgeoning success ignited the ire of one man, Thomas Edison. Edison had built his vast empire upon DC electricity. His company provided lighting to entire cities and industries across America. To him, AC was not merely a form of competition. It was a direct threat to everything he had painstakingly built. And so began one of the most infamous and intensely contested rivalries in scientific history, the war of currents. Edison launched a relentless campaign to discredit Tesla's alternating current. He propagated the narrative that AC was inherently deadly, dangerous, and impractical. To substantiate his claims, his team conducted public demonstrations involving the electrocution of animals, dogs, calves, and even an elephant named Topsy, all to instill fear and convince the public that AC was a lethal threat. It was a cruel and manipulative spectacle designed to sway public opinion. Tesla, deeply disturbed by these unethical tactics, refused to retaliate in kind. He believed that the truth would ultimately prevail. "The present is theirs," he once said quietly. "The future, for which I really worked, is mine." Meanwhile, Westinghouse pressed forward with unwavering determination. Together, he and Tesla developed the world's first large-scale AC power systems. Their initial major triumph came in Buffalo, New York, where AC lighting illuminated the city's streets for the first time, showcasing its superior capabilities. The system unequivocally demonstrated what Tesla had long asserted. Alternating current could deliver power farther, more affordably, and with greater safety than DC ever could. The pivotal turning point arrived in 1893, when Westinghouse and Tesla secured the coveted contract to illuminate the Chicago World's Fair, also known as the World's Columbian Exposition. Edison's company submitted a bid that was twice as expensive, but Westinghouse offered Tesla's AC system for half the cost. The organizers readily accepted. When the fair opened its gates, over 100,000 light bulbs, powered by Tesla's AC system, bathed the grounds in a radiant white glow. Millions of visitors stood in awe, witnessing a moment of wonder and undeniable victory. For the first time, the world glimpsed the future, shimmering before their very eyes. That same year, Westinghouse and Tesla secured another monumental project, harnessing the immense power of Niagara Falls. Engineers had long dreamed of converting the mighty waterfall into a source of electricity, but no one had successfully achieved it. Tesla's AC system made it a tangible reality. In 1896, the Niagara Falls power plant officially began transmitting electricity to Buffalo, located 26 miles away, a historic first. Newspapers heralded it as the triumph of Tesla's genius. His alternating current had conquered the forces of nature itself. And yet, even in the midst of this resounding triumph, Tesla's heart remained calm and unassuming. He harbored little interest in fame or fortune. While others celebrated their accomplishments, he continued to dream, not of personal wealth, but of a world interconnected by invisible energy, abundant and accessible to all. Still, his partnership with Westinghouse was not without its challenges. Financial pressures compelled Westinghouse to renegotiate Tesla's royalties, a decision that Tesla accepted without hesitation. He famously tore up the contract, stating, "You have given me life. What is money?" The gesture cost him millions, but revealed the essence of his character, a man more devoted to discovery than to personal gain. By the late 1890s, Edison's DC system was gradually fading into obsolescence, replaced by Tesla's AC network across America and Europe. The war of currents had drawn to a close. Tesla had emerged victorious. But victory in the realm of science does not always translate to peace in life. And for Tesla, the real battle, the one raging within his own mind, was only just beginning. The visionary, Tesla's dreams of free energy and the tower of the world. As the 20th century dawned, the name Nikola Tesla was spoken with reverence and awe. He had tamed the mighty Niagara Falls, illuminated cities across continents, and fundamentally reshaped the world's understanding of energy. Newspapers proclaimed him the man who invented the 20th century. But Tesla's mind never rested on past achievements. While others were content to profit from his groundbreaking discoveries, he continued to dream of a world where energy was free, wireless, and limitless. In his New York laboratory on Houston Street, Tesla embarked on a series of enigmatic experiments. Witnesses recounted seeing bluish sparks dancing in the air, lamps glow without the need for wires, and thunderous vibrations that shook the very foundations of the building. Tesla explained that he was studying resonance, the natural frequency through which all things in the universe could communicate. His theory was audacious and breathtaking. If Earth itself could be harnessed as a conductor, energy could be transmitted wirelessly to any point on the planet. No polis, no viris, no limitations. Tesla envisioned villages in remote regions of Africa illuminated by the same current as New York, ships traversing vast oceans powered without coal, and communication signals traveling instantaneously through the air. To him, this was not mere fantasy. It was the inevitable next step in human evolution. But such a monumental vision required substantial financial backing. In 1901, Tesla found an investor in J.P. Morgan, the powerful financier who had previously supported Edison. Morgan agreed to back Tesla's ambitious plan to build a world wireless system, believing it would revolutionize global communication. With Morgan's support, Tesla acquired land in Shoreham, Long Island, and commenced construction of what he called the Wardenclyffe Tower, a colossal 57-meter steel structure crowned with a copper dome, designed to transmit electricity and information to the Earth's natural frequencies. To the residents of the town, it resembled a monument from another world. To Tesla, it held the key to unlocking humanity's future. However, as construction progressed, Morgan grew increasingly suspicious. He had invested in the tower with the understanding that it would transmit messages, not energy. When Tesla revealed that his ultimate goal was to provide free electricity to everyone, Morgan's enthusiasm vanished. "Where do you put the meter?" Morgan reportedly asked with chilling practicality. Without Morgan's continued financial support, the project ground to a halt. Workers were laid off, debts mounted, and Tesla's dreams began to unravel. Newspapers ridiculed him as a mad scientist. Investors turned their backs on him. Even Westinghouse, once a steadfast ally, was unable to provide assistance. Yet Tesla refused to surrender. Alone in his laboratory, he continued his relentless experimentation. He constructed miniature models of his wireless system and conducted awe-inspiring demonstrations, lighting bulbs held in his hand, powering motors from a distance, and even producing artificial lightning that streaked several meters across the room. Still, the world dismissed him as eccentric, even delusional. By 1905, funding for Wardenclyffe had completely dried up. The tower stood unfinished, a silent testament to a dream that was far ahead of its time. Tesla's fortune dwindled, He moved from one modest New York hotel to another, his bills often unpaid, his notebooks filled with untested designs for machines that could draw energy from the air or tap into the very core of the planet. Friends implored him to patent his new inventions, radio transmitters, turbines, oscillators, but Tesla refused to pursue profit. He was no longer motivated by money or fame. He was driven by something far greater, the unraveling of the mysteries of the universe itself. "I do not care that they stole my idea," he once said with bitterness. "I care that they do not have any of their own." Ironically, as Tesla's reputation faded, others were rising to prominence on his shoulders. In 1904, the U.S. Patent Office controversially awarded the radio patent to Guglielmo Marconi, despite Tesla having demonstrated wireless transmission years earlier. When Marconi's radio achieved commercial success, Tesla simply remarked, "Let him continue. He is using 17 of my patents." The injustice wounded him deeply, but it did not extinguish his unwavering faith. Tesla continued to speak of a future era, one characterized by wireless communication, limitless power, and seamless global connection. Few believed him at the time, but history would ultimately vindicate his vision. And yet, as the new century progressed, Tesla's world grew increasingly bleak. The tower rusted. His laboratory was dismantled. The dream that had once electrified the world now lay forgotten on the fringes of Long Island. But deep within his heart, Tesla still whispered to himself, "One day, the earth will resonate with the sound of my dream." The final years, the lonely genius and the legacy of light. The Wardenclyffe Tower stood for years like a spectral sentinel, succumbing to the elements, a somber reminder of an unrealized dream. By 1917, it was demolished and sold for scrap metal. For Tesla, it was as if a piece of his very soul had been torn away. But even as the world moved on, Tesla remained committed to invention. His notebooks teemed with extraordinary designs, flying machines resembling birds, death rays fueled by atmospheric energy, wireless transmitters for global communication, and a visionary machine capable of harnessing cosmic rays. The public, however, had ceased to listen. The name Tesla, once synonymous with progress and innovation, was now spoken with a hint of pity. Investors no longer sought him out. Newspapers referred to him as a forgotten wizard. Yet Tesla remained a visionary, decades ahead of his time. He spoke of a future where individuals would carry small devices in their pockets, capable of instantly transmitting voices and images across the globe. He described machines guided by radio waves, what we now recognize as drones. He predicted wireless internet, satellite communication, and clean energy derived directly from the Earth itself. In 1915, rumors circulated that Tesla and Edison were to jointly receive the Nobel Prize in Physics. But when the official announcement was made, neither man was recognized. Some speculated that Edison had refused to share the honor. Others believed that Tesla had declined it out of pride. Whatever the truth, the recognition he so richly deserved never materialized. During World War I and the years that followed, Tesla lived a quiet and secluded life in a series of New York hotels, supported by modest pensions from companies that still held him in high regard. He spent his days feeding pigeons in the park, whispering to them as if they were his closest confidants. Among them was a pure white pigeon that he cherished deeply. "I love that pigeon as a man loves a woman," he confessed. "As long as I had her, there was purpose to my life." When the bird passed away, Tesla was inconsolable, and it seemed as though a part of him withered as well. Still, he never stopped dreaming. In 1931, at the age of 75, Tesla graced the cover of Time magazine, celebrated once again as the father of modern electricity. But fame brought no financial prosperity. He resided in a small, sparsely furnished room at the Hotel New Yorker, subsisting on milk, crackers, and honey, and often sharing his meager provisions with stray birds from his window. Visitors described him as tall, slender, impeccably dressed, but emotionally distant, a man who spoke of cosmic secrets, of unseen forces, and of messages from distant planets. Many dismissed his later pronouncements as the ramblings of an aging mind. Yet, within the enigmatic poetry of his thoughts, lay seeds of truth that modern science would later rediscover. In 1943, On a cold January night, Nikola Tesla died alone in room 3327 of the New Yorker hotel. He was 86 years old. His body was discovered 2 days later by a maid who entered quietly and found him lying still as if peacefully asleep. The man who had illuminated the world had passed away in darkness. After his death, officials from the U.S. government seized his papers and research, classifying many as top secret. Some of his notes were never recovered, fueling speculation about inventions that were too powerful for their time: energy weapons, anti-gravity devices, and machines capable of splitting the earth. Yet beyond the myths and legends, the truth remains remarkably simple. Tesla was a man who dared to dream far beyond the confines of his own century. Today, his legacy shines brighter than ever before. His alternating current system powers every home and city across the globe. His name lives on in electric cars, space exploration, and the ongoing pursuit of clean and sustainable energy. The world that once mocked him now operates on the very principles he pioneered. And perhaps that is the greatest irony of all, that the man who died in obscurity would one day become the very symbol of the future. Tesla once said, "The present is theirs. The future, for which I have really worked, is mine." Indeed, the future has vindicated him. There are lives that flicker quietly, and there are lives that burn with such brilliance that their glow lingers long after the individual is gone. Nikola Tesla's life was one of those enduring lights. He lived for ideas, not for material possessions, for progress, not for personal accolades. He empowered the world to move forward and asked for nothing in return. They labeled him mad. They ridiculed his dreams. But time, the ultimate arbiter, has revealed the truth. Tesla was not mad. He was simply ahead of his time. Every spark that ignites our homes, every motor that hums, every wireless signal that traverses the air, all carry a trace of his intellect, a whisper of his visionary spirit. He once stated, "The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being, and if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power." Tesla believed that knowledge was sacred, a bridge connecting humanity to the divine. He viewed science not as a tool for personal gain, but as a symphony of creation. And perhaps that is the most enduring legacy he leaves behind. To dream fearlessly, to seek truth even in solitude, to build even when the world doubts. Because a single dream, a single spark, has the power to transform everything. So, when you gaze at the night sky and witness the city lights twinkling below, remember, somewhere within that glow, the spirit of Nikola Tesla still resides. He may have passed away alone, but his light, his dream, now belongs to all of us. The world thrives on his vision. The future bears his name. And the light will never fade.